Sejuani. That was a big part of the FlyQuest kind of downfall there in finals. So I wonder if they're going to try and also do playmaking. Kaisa, of course, was pretty popular as far as the buffs that have gone on. There have been a lot of changes on the patches here from most regions playoffs until MSI. And yet, same old, same old. We still get the Nautilus first pick. Get that Nautilus quick.
He just does, fast. He does so many things so well. He can peel well. He has great engage. He has point and click CC for later in the game. If you want a lane swap, he works well in that as well, and can set you up for a center pick, which is why we see PSG immediately locking in the center and Tahm Kench to answer.
Yeah, Senna Tahm Kench, extremely reliable bottom side. Plus gives you that flexibility. You know, with all the talk of lane swaps and everything going around too, Senna really doesn't care who she lanes with. They can leave the Tahm Kench and roam up to the other side of the map if you need laning with mid lane, laning with top lane. Okay, speaking of possible swaps, you know, the Jinx is definitely one of the champions you can do it with, but I don't see any indicators super early on that they would actually want to go for that. But there's the Taliyah, so I kind of like this pick here for FlyQuest, both kind of a takeaway from Maple, as well as grabbing that one for Jensen, because then if you do have some Nautilus playmaking, you can get Taliyah roaming around.
Surprise, surprise, it's been 3 patches since most of these teams played, and it looks like it's going to be Taliyah into Azir in the mid lane once again. Kobe. Azir obviously slightly touched, slightly nerfed on 14-7, I believe, but still a very powerful pick in.
Can still Shurima shuffle people. So
so he's good.
Still good. Go. Yeah, the changes that you're mentioning are actually kind of important because it did hit what was already an existing weakness of Azir, which was poke damage. And so having less regeneration there, maybe we'll see the effects of that nerf kind of build up in the game, but still does, of course, the big Shurima shuffles. And when they see the early Jinx pick, that low mobility AD carry on the side of FlyQuest in the hands of their rookie player Masu, I think that's exactly what goes through Maple's head. He's like, you know what? I already have a Senna with an ultimate that can come over the top, give that extra safety, and go for the assassination play.
See PSG as well now deciding to ban away the Viego. You want to get rid of things that reset well when you have a Jinx, because if you have a big burst of damage, the Viego jumps in, gets a burst, kills someone, Jinx then gets excited, Viego then gets a reset, you get another reset, and the team fight really starts to sway in FlyQuest's favor.
Yeah, that's why Taliyah seismic shove off of Nautilus engage is a really good way to get that first kill. Oftentimes too, even if the enemy team is running a farming Tahm Kench, you can try and go frontline, because if you can get an early health lead on frontline, then use that to snowball off the passive. Xin Zhao, very big ban against Jinjia. Massive. He had it was over 30% of damage done in game 2 of the finals as Xin. Most damage in the entire game as jungle, which is kind of rare to see for the role. But you've got a lot of respect for this guy. This guy is so critical to PSG's win cons so frequently. The Xin, the Wukong, and the Vi all banned away from him.
I mean, both teams really respecting the jungle in the second phase of bans, right? We haven't seen jungle all top locked in either way. So Viego, Poppy, Wukong, and Xin taken away. PSG likely to pick jungle here, save top for last, but with Rumble still on the cards, maybe we'll see Azure going for that. It was his 3rd most played across the course of the PCS, and there it is, locked in.
Okay, Rumble as well. Another one of those prominent laners that maybe you want to switch up some lane assignments, I guess. We'll see.
If you can put it behind, it definitely works, right? But we'll see if FlyQuest have got that in their wheelhouse. If they do, something like a Sion here makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I feel like all of MSI, everyone's going to be like,
oh. We've all been studying, that's the thing, right? We saw it happen once, we're like 10 hours of lane swap studying to make sure we know what we're talking about.
Okay, well, Sejuani comes out here, so I'm assuming we're going to get a melee champion for Bwipo to synergize with the Sejuani. Bwipo plays a bunch of melee champs up in the top lane, but it's not actually going to be that, and he goes with the good old Urgot. He's a longtime Urgot lover, so very comfortable on the champion, of course, here, and we'll see the final reveal for PSG. What can they grab for Jinjia? So critical here for the success of this squad. A classic combo with Rumble.
You're looking for CC, really, aren't you? You're looking for some sort of initiation setup, because then the Azir follows up, the Rumble equalizer go down, Tahm Kench can go in. So something like Jarvan makes sense.
Yeah, and especially if you're considering the game plan that we were talking about in the first 3 picks that PSG revealed, where they've got a Senna ultimate that's coming over the top of possible Azir shuffle. If you also are looking at Jinx having to play against Jarvan ultimate with Rumble ultimate, they are going to make Masu's life as difficult as possible. PSG say, welcome to the international stage, rookie FlyQuest AD carry. good luck surviving.
Huge amount of weight on Masu's shoulders, especially since he doesn't have something like the Tahm Kench to protect him, to devour him out. We'll see if FlyQuest can get a large enough lead, either through lane swaps or through their top side, to make that engage less impactful. Because if you do put the Azir, the Rumble, and the Jarvan behind, the initiation damage isn't as powerful, and then you can just walk into them and try and take them out. But the first game of the day, the first game of MSI 2024 on the cards for us. How are you feeling, Kobe?
I started out like 50-50 nervous excited, and now I'm more like 70-30 nervous to excited.
Is that draft or is that just
draft?
time pass?
This is definitely draft. Yeah, the draft is making me even more nervous. Masu, good luck. PSG are coming for your head, buddy.
It's going to be a challenge for him. The FlyQuest bot lane, definitely a key point of weakness that we have noticed over the last year. And I think a lot of people will look at the finals and say Busio is also a weak player. But if you look at the regular season and even some of the rest of playoffs, Busio played very, very well. So I think saying Busio is weak perhaps is a bit of an oversight for the rest of the regular season, but Masu definitely has struggled from time to time.
And there's just so much experience on this PSG lineup as well across the board here. All of them, of course, have been international events before, so they've all played on these big stages. Already mentioned how Maple and Betty have gone deep runs at MSI previously, so they definitely have the comfortable advantage up on the stage here, but we'll get right into it here. Very excited. 2024, our first game of MSI. So many changes with a couple of patches running through, and let's get right to it. All of them looking like a lane swap buddy. Jinx is very good at lane swapping. That's why we brought it up so early. The minigun attack speed, helping you get through those plates. If we can get a look at the small runes as well, small optimizations, get your demolish in there. I'm just going to assume Busio has demolish for sure. And we'll see about any sort of deep wards. It doesn't look like PSG are going to get any lane swap wards in.
I haven't seen any either from FlyQuest. They haven't been able to step into that jungle.
FlyQuest are kind of showing like normal right now, so they don't want to give anything away, and they're just going to send get away with the lane swap, no problem.
Really smart little bit of pinging here from FlyQuest, at least. There was a ping down between the bot lane tier 1 and the tier 2 where a ward would have gone from PSG to spot the lane swap. So what Whippo did was hug the bottom of the lane, so you can stand just outside of vision if that ward isn't placed properly. So he gets to the lane without being spotted if there was a ward there. Kobe, lane swaps can be a little bit intimidating for our audience. Do you want to talk through the basics of why you would set up a lane swap like this?
Yeah, as we see IG coming down over the ward here, so they're going to see him kind of the late reaction. This is one of the really important things, actually, the latent ganks towards mid lane. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of enemy top laner / enemy support with a lot of the rolling time, but you asked about the basics of the lane swap. The basics all the way come down to having a way to get through some of the poor early lane phases of some of the really strong scaling champions. So if you don't want to have to fight that 2v2 lane, Jinx is very, very good at taking down towers and tower plates. Xayah is another really, really popular one because of the W attack speed, because of the ability to annihilate waves as well as Rakan or Xayah Emilio. We're going to see the collapse on bottom side here, though. This is generally the 4v2 tower dive. Whippo has gotten his level 2. They're going to try and outplay.
Azure still only level 1. FlyQuest underneath the tower trying to survive. Azure puts a bit of damage down, but neither Inspired or Whippo are too worried so far. Woody tanks a tower shot, and I think FlyQuest's going to survive this one pretty handily.
Yeah.
Woody TP's away. So Woody's going to go catch the wave in the top lane because he can survive in the 2v1 much better than the Rumble would be able to. Busio might look for the dive, but Woody's already level 3. He'll have the thick skin. Busio tanks a couple of tower shots, aftershock, keeping him a bit healthier than he could have been, and no plate fallen yet.
And the main goal here, too, Woody collecting a lot of experience and gold off the wave. Also, delaying and denying a lot of the turret plate taking that would be the goal here for Masu and Busio. They're unable to do it. You take a couple tower shots while you're putting damage into that Tahm Kench. So nice little bit of delay there, and nice kind of versatility with running the center Tahm Kench lane, being able to take that teleport summoner.
It's also the problem with Rumble is you want to take the Ignite for lane pressure. If there'd been a conventional 1v1 in the top lane, that Rumble should have been able to at least put some pressure down on the Urgot. So now he's going to lane with the center in the bot lane. As you said, Senna doesn't care who she lanes with. Tahm Kench will lane solo in the top side. Inspired coming through here, not spotted by anything as of yet. will start to step back. Whippo ignited. Inspire caught up, but he can dash across the wall, and Inspire just making sure Whippo can get back to this wave.
Yeah, the other thing to remember, of course, with one of the big things that Riot implemented to try and dissuade people from lane swapping is that 50% tower damage reduction for the first 5 minutes of the game. And that is about to time out here. We're already at 420. And FlyQuest haven't even gotten the single plate up on the top side one. They should be able to get that first one, but PSG already working very closely towards their second one down here. So you can see the effects of that bulwark buff.
You can see it at the top of the scoreboard as well. 700 gold lead for PSG right now. Both the AD carries do scale relatively well. Of course, Jinx very powerful when she gets to 2 or 3 items if she can be front to back in a team fight. So it's not all doom and gloom for FlyQuest, even though I think you'd say this lane swap hasn't worked as effectively as they would have liked it to, with them falling behind in terms of plates.
Yeah, I like the Senna look for it too, because he's still getting a lot of souls here off of Whippo down there, plus getting the turret plate money and having that versatility with Woody using his teleport. So we'll see as Dragon arrives to the Rift. Another big change, by the way, that happened between a lot of the region playoffs and MSI, of course, is the delay on Void Grubs. They desync the timer. It's no longer the 5 minutes with Dragon. It is delayed until 6, so they'll have to swap back over if they want to go for that one. And it looks like Masu Busio linking back up on bottom side, and after that reset and recall there for PSG, sending their duo top.
It's interesting to see PSG elect to go for another lane swap, because they saw Whippo going up towards the top side, he TP'd in, and then they elect to go down towards bottom, avoiding Masu and Busio. Obviously they can force Whippo back, and Whippo is falling ever so slightly behind Azu, who has gone for the use of swiftness first. But often you'll see a Senna, after the initial lane swap, if the team who started it go back into normal lanes, those normal lanes will just continue as Jensen gets a stun. With the Unraveled Earth, we'll be able to force Made pull away. Inspired and Busio coming up from the bottom side of the map, but PSG are able just to retreat from it.
Yeah, they don't want an extended fight here because, as you're alluding to, FlyQuest have their duo on bottom side. Inspired's here for the attempted dive. IG does have his flash ready. Ignite was already used. And it looks like we have a cover here from Jinjia as well, so not going to let him go for the dive, and it's just going to be the Dragon pickup.
Betty and Woody in the top lane will be able to get some plates. Jinjia making his way up towards the top side of the map, likely to go for those grubs. Might just start on the Razor Beak. So Dragon for FlyQuest is the exchange hit. With that, PSG getting top side control.
Really interesting thing too with the Void Grub change is that they actually increased the value of the buff pretty significantly. The true damage dot was increased by 50%. So not only is the timer desynced, but the buff itself is actually more powerful too. And you only need to get to 4, which is very easy to steal one of the second pack if you get the first 3 in order to get that Void Might spawn. So definitely easy to cash in on that one. Meanwhile, it is going to be, that continued bottom side, Jinx play here for Masu for the side of FlyQuest, getting right through it. Meanwhile, Woody already making use of those Void Grubs.
He's 1,000 gold ahead of Busio. Obviously, he is farming as well, but you kind of have to compare the gold difference between AD carries with the gold difference between the supports in this game. Woody at 1.2k up as Azure dodges the hook, and Masu only 500 gold ahead on that Jinx. Watching PSG through their playoffs, they were a very good Senna team, and you see small examples of it here. Betty moving over to the Void Grubs to make sure he's getting more stacks. He's on 32 now, which is pretty well accelerated through the early game. Expect to see him pathing with Jinjia through the jungle when those camps are up, just to get as many stacks on the board as possible.
Yeah, and usually, especially the goal.
That tempo reset. Everyone coming out of base at the same time. Not something we always see in planes.
So synced up. But especially with another big part of the goal of going for lane swaps in the first place is funneling as much resources as possible into your AD carry, into your Jinx. And since PSG already built their entire team comp for destroying the Jinx, it feels like they are so well set up into this one. PSG, really nice, calm and collected game from them, reacting quite well to this one. Woody's teleport is even coming back off cooldown quite shortly here, so they do again. Put them right back to bottom side on that rotate. As you mentioned, everybody coming out at the exact same time.
I don't think that ward spotted Masu and Busio. It was looking at my notes while they walk past, but I don't think it would have seen them in their position that they were. Woody and Betty, though, continue to push in bot. Whippo, 44 CS. Both the top laners relatively even. Not the highest CS scores you're ever going to see for a top laner at 9 minutes, but they'll both be happy enough that they've been able to keep themselves in this game. Ginger, though, looking for a gank once again.
Yeah, meanwhile, you also have Inspired on top side doing the same thing to Aji. It looks like Aji's backing off in time.
I mean, the big difference between top lane is Aji is still only level 5 as the beautiful play by FlyQuest to get that kill. Super Mega Death Rocket, the Glacial Prison. Aja had no way of responding. Whippo trying to get away in the bot lane, does still have the flash, but just walks out of there.
Woohoo! Very, very close right there. Nice kill on the top side for the first blood for FlyQuest. They were not previously getting as many resources into the Jinx as they, obviously would have wanted to do. So very nice to at least get an assist there, some assist money split. Sejuani Inspired there, getting to the level 6, having full lockdown. So Aji definitely punished, and now you've got a level 7 Whippo, Urgot to the level 5 here for the Rumble. And Rumble, really, really painful if you fall behind on this champion. One of the big, strong champions to do lane swaps into for that reason.
Yeah, him and Twisted Fate are the ones that you can put very far behind with good movement on the map. You can see Azure about to tick over to level 6. That purple bar under the champion portrait shows you his experience. He was likely thinking, if I get 3 or 4 minions from this wave, I can just equalize her, then they can't dive me. But step too far forward, and Inspired was there to punish.
Yeah, and Inspired, we saw on the mini-map the kind of deep route he took, even though the camera was on bottom side. Up there by that kind of control ward behind the red buff, and then got really deep behind Aji, so he was unable to escape. But doesn't mean the entire game plan is thrown out. PSG just stick to the exact same idea here. They're going to be targeting this Jinx. Kraken Slayer done here for Masu is nice, but we'll see as we transition towards those team fights.
Knight's Vow as well on Inspire is just going to help that Jinx survive a little bit longer in team fights. Maple and Ginger on their way towards this top side, but the vision from FlyQuest means that Whippo can just step away. Betty and Woody have opened up through mid, and Masu and Busio, after pushing in bot, are now answering them. With Dragon up in 45 seconds, my expectation is we'll see the teams trying to get that mid control and then step into the enemy jungle, get a bit of vision down, and play for that Drake.
Yeah, looks like we've got teleports ready.
There's also Void Grubs up, though, so they're likely actually going to play around that, because if PSG gets 6, that's very powerful for them.
Yep, DC Timers doing their work. Here we go, getting into the river and trying to get vision established first, too. Betty and Woody actually moving together. Meanwhile, Busio kind of has to watch from the shadows there, so PSG rotating everybody up. Aji's going to walk his way here. Rumble is level 6 at least, so at least he has the ultimate, even though it is going to remain.
It's the FlyQuest special, Kobe. Inspired is lane ganking, but Maple flashes it. FlyQuest love to do this. Inspired loves to do this. Lane gank, good flash by Maple while PSG start up the grubs.
Yeah, it's a swing and a miss, though, and it's a big cooldown. Sejuani now without the ultimate, even though Maple does flash it there, and the flash is not going to be available for it, that's going to mean all the extra Void Grubs here picked up for PSG, all 6 of them, so they're going to have huge tower pushing potential, and maybe even trying to put a little bit of extra pressure here for some deep vision into the jungle, but FlyQuest at least going to be able to focus on, well, actually, they're not even going to have time to start up Dragon number 2 because PSG are able to rotate off of that top side that much quicker and head on down for it. Really nice Rumble ultimate from Aji there to clear out the minions and put a stop to the bottom side push as well.
That's the difference between when Azure died at level 5 and now when he can survive that sort of pressure, because he just equalizes the minions and FlyQuest have no way of getting there in time to take him out under the tower. Now PSG stepping down towards this bottom side after pushing through mid. TP behind. Maple no flash, can of course try and dash his way around. Whippo, fear beyond death. Maple's locked up, knocked back. The Emperor's divide, but you can't escape the chains. Whippo on the ball.
All right, that is going to mean with the teleport up top side, they get 1 kill, but Masu rooted up as Junjia is going to be able to take Dragon number 1 for PSG's side. Kill credit, though, going over to the side of Whippo with his ultimate on that signature Urgot. Okay, Inspired not going to do any cheeky attempt over the side here.
It would be very cheeky if he managed to take that one away. Woody TP's up to top. He's about 3,000 gold ahead of Busio, but as I said before, compare the supports with the AD carries. Masu has a 1.2k gold lead. Betty only just finishing his first completed item. That's the opportunity, but Bloodsong, although not as strong as it once was, still a very powerful item, even as a support upgrade.
Yep, definitely true. All right, let's see. As they rotate off as well, we're going to have a spawn of Rift Herald coming up as we go into the replay, but yeah, this one was pretty clear cut.
Yeah.
You already know because of the Sejuani attempt from the brush, burning Maple Splash, that he's got nowhere to go here. But nice job from Blippo landing the ultimate pretty early there so they can secure it.
It's a good play. You can see Maple knows he's dead as well. He's like, I'm going to see if I can shift
Yeah.
in and kill Jensen before anything happens, but good stuff from Jensen as well with the Unraveled Earth.
And they also know with that teleport up there, you know, they're going to be able to pick up that dragon, get the objective on the other side of the map. For PSG's side, so still quite comfortable for PSG here. Bottom side as well makes it pretty easy for Maple to continue split pushing. Another one of the reasons why Azir has remained so popular as a pro pick, you know, throughout the roller coaster of nerfs has been that ability to split push.
Ginger, Boucher gonna get pulled back, locked up, and Betty's looking for the auto. Woody gets it in the end. TP behind. Counter TP coming in by Maple as they look to continue this fight. Weaver's wall away by Inspired. And in the end, it's just a single kill over to PSG. They're first at MSI 2024, but it does mean they can set up for this Rift Herald.
Yeah, it's a huge play. They just jump right on Busio. Good job here. Jinjia, no hesitation. They go immediately in on the Nautilus, burst him down so quickly. They also got the teleport out of Jensen and the ultimate out of Jensen, and they're going for Inspired now too.
Inspired still has the flash. Busio's going to hook across the wall here. Ginger going forward. There's the Dawning Shadows. Inspired starts to fall lower. Almost caught up in the Cataclysm. Busio locked up. The Equalizer off to the side as Ginger takes the kill. And PSG get another one on the board as FlyQuest a little bit too eager to try and fight around that Rift Herald.
Yeah, FlyQuest are just getting dismantled this game. PSG taking down Busio again. He basically respawns from his death, walks straight back out, and then goes down again as they were chasing off the Sejuani there. But FlyQuest trying to remain focused here in the game. Jensen pushes down this outer tower and then gets a face full of Maple.
Jensen does get the turret. Seismic shove going wide as Maple continues to put the damage down. Slides in, Inspired locks him up. The Emperor's Divide goes down as Jensen falls low. 100 HP on him, but he's able to survive it now. Ginger coming in from the side as well. He's going to lock up Jensen. 1-for-1 so far as both mid laners fall. Betty and Ginger looking to put Busio in a body bag for the third time this game. 6 feet under is where Busio resides. Even though Ginger misses the flag and the drag, he still sends Busio to the slag heap.
All right, FlyQuest get the answer of a turret on top side, but it has been a murder here. PSG on the bottom side, chasing down the extra one. A lot of gray screen and a lot of walking time for Busio.
That's the problem with Nautilus, though. Like, when you play Nautilus in a professional setting, you have to be the front line a lot of the time. You can be there next to Inspired, but if you queue in, you're in. It's not like Rakan, you're not dashing out, dancing around, you are in the fight. And Busio here, obviously trying to help Jensen survive this battle, but just couldn't quite do enough.
And then you have here, you know, good timing for Inspired to be right there and be able to get the little bump. But because PSG also have Jinji and Betty coming down, it is going to be the 1-for-1, and then they actually chase down Aji though.
Aji's dead. There's no way he escapes this. His team's all on the top side. Good pickup by FlyQuest, realizing that PSG had invested their manpower on the top side of the map to get that Rift Herald that we've talked about a couple of times. They spot Azure on the side lane. They'll take him. Azure burning the flash as well. Perhaps a poor use of his summoner spells there.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, maybe he burnt it before he saw the rest of FlyQuest coming in, but he was pretty much done for. So at 17, almost 18 minutes into the game, the honors are even in terms of kills. PSG have about 2,000 gold lead, but all's not doom and gloom for FlyQuest. They've been a little haughty in terms of taking fights, but Masu's still scaling up, has got a Kraken Slayer Azil, and is building up towards his next item. He has the Knight's Vow Protection. Jensen's getting there. Like, in terms of items, FlyQuest are in a very solid spot.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to look for some picks here, really make use, like we just saw them, of this Taliyah ultimate, and getting picks on the side lanes like that. That plus maybe Busio here taking a teammate and a partner when he's walking into anywhere dangerous. So
it's
that
the buddy system.
Exactly, buddy system, so they can actually try and make use of his CC and his ultimate. But should be PSG with a pretty comfortable setup here on Dragon.
This is one of the benefits of taking the early take. Grippo stepping in here. Abyssal Voyage forward by Woody, immediately locked up. He went way into the depths there. Pulled back with the Fear Beyond Death. The Fear's going to land on Ginger, but the EQ combos to buffer out of it. Whippo down to half HP. Busio now stepping onto the front line as Betty continues to rain hell down on FlyQuest. They're forced away. They get a kill. PSG have double honey fruits here and can continue their foray at taking this dragon. I don't think FlyQuest really should take this fight any further.
Yeah, a little bit too much damage sustained there. And it's also going to be critical to watch Masu's summoner spells for the entirety of this game. The Ghost used in the last one, but the Flash is going to be really the only answer to the full like Jarvan Rumble combination that they're going to try and throw at him. This one around, able to get that kill. You know, Whippo, good execution as the focus there onto Woody and taking down the Tahm Kench first. But as you said, PSG still pick up the dragon, so the 2 dragons plus the split pushing power of the Void Grubs to their advantage. And here we go, looking at how it started off again. Of course, Woody was trying to follow up on the center route, but then, as we said from Champ Select, that Talia's shove really good at even focusing that front line, even it is a farming Tahm Kench, a very tanky target, shoves him right in, they get the burst damage, and they get the execute there, even getting the reset and the get excited for Masu, which is why he popped the Ghost. He's like, okay, maybe they can run it forward into more, but PSG did a good job of actually stopping that.
Busio flashes, doesn't get over the wall.
Cut the tape!
Oh, it's a face plant if I've ever seen one.
Oh.
Busio's nose is broken in 3 places as Inspired looks for Azure. Azure doesn't spot him out here. Good use of the Fog of War by Inspired. Just step around the corner. I think he stepped out of the bush there for a second, so was seen. Rift Herald used in the mid lane now by PSG. One of the benefits for FlyQuest taking that early dragon delays the fact that PSG could get towards the soul. Rift Herald charges forward. PSG are going to ride it. Where are we going? Straight down the mid lane once again. Going to spawn some extra mites.
Yeah.
Charge in and then back away.
Oh, nice little Sejuani clean of those mites. So even with the extra mites coming off of the 6 Void Grubs, still wiping those ones clean. Another tower taken there, though, for PSG as they open up more of the map. Towards the mid game here, though, with the extra gold going right back, I mean, you've got 2 items on your Jinx on Masu here, so...
And a Locket and a Knight's Vow, right? She has some protection.
Now you're hitting kind of the 2 core spikes here for a lot of this FlyQuest squad. And even though you can see some of the cracks kind of emerging in Busio's gameplay here, with the very young bottom lane that they are fielding up on the international stage, if Masu can handle the pressure here towards the team fight and deal with that very heavy PSG engage, and FlyQuest very much have a route right back into this one.
Definitely agree with you there. I think as well, the fact that Whippo is 3-0, has the Black Cleaver and a tunnel up, and you have a pretty tanky Inspired means that that front line can survive for quite a while and start to look for that execute combo with the Seismic Shove, with the Fear Beyond Death. If they get one, Masu then gets excited. The fight begins to swing in FlyQuest's favor. PSG, though, now stepping into this jungle, trying to clear out some vision. Weren't quite able to get all of it in the river. Jensen down towards the bottom side, just taking a Scuttle Crab for himself. And everything's going to be probably slightly quiet for a moment here. Both teams trying to find some slightly deeper vision, but with Dragon still 2 minutes away, with Baron buffed slightly on this patch, it's going to be hard for either of these teams to make something happen unless someone oversteps.
Yeah, biggest thing too is the defense reliability of mid lane turrets still really healthy here for PSG. Makes it a lot easier for them to control both jungle sides, but they're going for it.
Woody stunned up, locked up again. Flame Chompers coming down. Will have the thick skin. Dawning Shadow for a shield as well as Woody continues to survive, but in the end, caught out by FlyQuest. They miss 5 players in the mid lane as the Equalizer comes down just to clear out the way. Masu falling low, knocked back on Junja. Cataclysm in, but they can't get in close enough as the Fear Beyond Death finds another. FlyQuest find 2 incredible kills in the mid lane.
Yeah, that was huge for FlyQuest. There was 0 pressure at all on Masu. That re-engage from Junjia after they had already lost Woody due to another seismic shove from Jensen, pulling him back, separating him from the safety of their mid lane turret we were just talking about. And that opening is all that FlyQuest needs. Whippo can teleport back in.
Yeah, Azure didn't check the bush, so Whippo's just going to TP back in. The Baron already down to half HP. Azure trying to step forward, no Equalizer for him. Maple and Betty, what can you do here? No Smite, of course, is Inspired. We'll just look for the Smite on the Baron. TP coming in as well. Last Embrace on the Baron will get 1 root, but the TP in into an immediate hook from Busio. Woody locked up once again, trying to survive, but he just can't get out of the 5 members of FlyQuest. And finally, they've arrived at the MSI stage. Azure has to flash away. The super mega death rocket from Masu will bury Woody in the dirt. Azure, in fact, in the dirt. And now we see FlyQuest with a Baron buff 24 minutes in, starting to crack open PSG structures.
Huge stuff from the FlyQuest rookie AD carry here. They put a lot of pressure on his shoulders with this Jinx. They went for the lane swaps early on, and with Woody specifically giving a few too many openings to start it out. FlyQuest will take those. Nice timing on the hook here from Busio, even though he had a couple of rocky plays earlier in the game. Really good timing on the hook on the arrival of the teleport there to ensure that they're going to get Masu excited. And after that kill, able to chase down the extra one here. Another nice little ultimate from him, sniping out the kill onto Rumble and allowing FlyQuest to make the most of these openings.
And Masu didn't burn a summoner. He was protected so well. The Junja engage into Bwipo, flipping him away meant Cataclysm could never get onto the backline in the initial fight. And now FlyQuest push mid with Jensen. He has the Weaver's Wall to join his team if needed. Can also separate PSG, but Busio is looking to get behind them. And here comes Jensen as well. The equalizer down. Already Junja down to half HP. Woody's going to gobble him up with the Devour. Spits him out. Cataclysm in as Betty starts to open up. Busio has to flash away. Jensen low. He flashes as well, but can't quite escape. 2 kills. Already over to FlyQuest. The Dawning Shadow finds one, but Masu begins to open up. He's looking for more. Maple trying to go in, has that flash and the Emperor's Divide. Can they find more? PSG see a window here, but the window's been shut in their face as the super mega death rocket just wide by Masu.
Yeah, Bwipo's able to move up and get local tower goad on this side tower as well. It's always so critical, especially on these side lane secondary turrets, to go grab that. So still a bunch of extra gold as well as the dragon picked up on the exit here. Can they finish it in time? Betty's heading over.
Azure, no equalizer, still half on the cooldown of that. Masu gets excited, obviously, from taking the neutral objective, so FlyQuest can just walk back towards mid, get the push on this. The Baron buff expiring in about 40 seconds time, so they might get one last push out of it with where the waves are. Unlikely to be able to get to any structures in time.
FlyQuest have been doing a really good job at getting their focused pressure on a single target from PSG before PSG can put that pressure on Masu. You keep mentioning Bwipo and this Urgot pick that they went for, trying to have a guaranteed execute for one target to be able to get those resets, and that has been instrumental here in a lot of these team fights, focusing down that one and turning the one kill, get excited into the chase downs here for the extra objectives. Nice kind of use there of the Baron buff as well for FlyQuest. Over a 4,000 gold Red Bull Baron power play for them.
And you can see the gold has swung now, 4,000 in their favor. 2 dragons apiece. Masu still has the flash, has burnt the ghost. Bwipo, 3 items now on the Urgot.
Exactly, the Urgot plus now Jensen just finished up 3 core. Masu's got his 3 core, and you can tell PSG now very, very fearful of that engage. Sejuani and Nautilus frontline means that FlyQuest, if you ever step out of line, have plenty of punishment to deliver.
No TPs either for PSG. There's a couple of wards around where maybe they could sneak behind FlyQuest. One sort of hovering around the Baron in the mid lane, one down towards where the Dragon is. As FlyQuest push up, you have to do your due diligence and clear out these wards to make sure you're not seeing a Maple showing up behind you in a fight. Dragon up in 3 minutes, Baron in 2, so no real neutral objectives to fight for, but last time I said that, FlyQuest immediately found 2 kills in the mid lane, so we'll see if they can spring the trap once again.
And a critical thing too is that Masu still has his flash on Jinx. He's not really been under a lot of pressure, so he's been popping the ghost for some offensive looks to try and chase down even more kills, but him having that flash is critical right now because the comeback plan, the opening that all of PSG are looking at right now is we need to get one of these big gold bounties either on the Jinx or on the Urgot. Of course, the ideal one is definitely going to be on the Jinx, much squishier target, but if Masu has his flash and plays with team, definitely has the extra kind of an out button there and savior. FlyQuest, they don't want to give over either of these gold bounties to any of the targeted pressure here from PSG. That will be key in finishing out this game.
PSG just backing up behind their tower here. Cataclysm in, trying to burn Bwipo's flash, they get it. Glacial Prism from the backside only hits onto Woody, so now Bwipo won't have flash for one of the next neutral objective sites. Macewell's TP back up now, and that ward in the top lane still there. TP down. It's Jensen who'll go down towards the bot lane, and PSG aren't going to look for any further action towards top.
Yeah, Maple constantly with the split push here. Highest CS in the game on the Azir, trying to put the extra pressure down there. Does get the teleport extra summoner spell. out of FlyQuest, out of Jensen. Try and reduce the map movement possibilities here as Baron's about to spawn in 35 seconds.
The sequence from PSG in the top lane, as much as you might be able to kill Bwipo, much more about making sure that there's one less summoner around this next fight. Bwipo no longer has the flash, so something like a flash disdain to lock up Woody, to lock up Betty, just not a possibility.
Yeah, and again, he has a big bounty on his head too, so no flash on him. That could be a lot of gold if they're able to focus here. Putting up the Azir turret in mid lane as Baron has spawned really allows PSG to make the most of this vision coverage they've got in Baron. They're trying to bait FlyQuest right now with the extra ward that they preemptively placed.
And you always have the Devour for Woody as well. So if Betty steps up and gets hit with a Glacial Prison, gets hit with a Seismic Shove, Woody can flash in, use that Devour. Betty at 135 stacks now as Maple dashes away. Inspired trying to get forward, has that Kainic Rukun. Masu opening up a little bit, but doesn't put too much damage that sticks down. Mid lane prio, though, for FlyQuest means that PSG have to walk the long way round to their tower. Will they even get there in time? Masu only needs a couple of shots to take this down. Bwipo locked up. Betty steps in, Maple going forward. Junja dived into the unraveled earth, eaten up with the Devour. Bwipo at half HP, but he's going to get the Sterak's Gauge shield and will be healthy enough to get out in the end. The tower falls, Summoner burnt on Woody. We talked about the flash Devour, Dawning Shadow as well from Betty.
Yeah, very good Devour there. It was very close to them getting that execute and trying to get a repeat play. The tower as well going down. Sometimes those low health towers can be a danger, can be a little bit of self-bait to your team because Jinx getting excited off of that. But it's just going to be the objective claimed, and FlyQuest will move into the river. You saw as well, Masu throughout his...
Betty flashes away, steps back in towards Inspired. PSG were calling FlyQuest to the fight. Junja down to half HP, has the Honey Fruit. As just looking for a flank position here, will have the Equalizer as well. But Betty stepped in and had to immediately flash out. A little bit greedy in his positioning as PSG had started up the Baron.
Yeah, getting very dangerous for them. A lot of their safety buttons have been taken off the board, with Woody previously using his. Betty now going to be vulnerable as well. And I was mentioning too, though, the vision. You saw Masu use his ultimate towards Baron as they were pushing up, and then we just immediately saw the rest of PGs coming over. But they're being very diligent in trying to keep full vision coverage, constantly checking over towards Baron. They don't want to let PSG have one of those surprise, comeback Baron plays.
Bwipo going full crab cosplay, just standing still in the river. It's like, hey guys, I'm here. Waiting for that Scuttle Crab to spawn, setting up around it. The Dragon has spawned. It would only be the third of the game for either team. Bwipo now forced away. Where is FlyQuest vision? Not really in the river yet. Another Super Mega Death Rocket comes out as PSG secure the Scuttle Crab.
This is also really big power spike here for FlyQuest. Masu's got his Lord Dom's 4-item power spike.
Cataclysm in onto Bwipo, no flash on him. Remember, there's the Equalizer on the backline as well as Woody is knocked up. Death Charge on Betty. Bwipo with the Stacks healing up. Azure, though, with a good stopwatch. Inspired low, and now Busio has to try and get the hell out of there. But instead, he is sent to the depths of hell itself. Inspired and Bwipo walking away wounded. PSG put up a tower and turn their eyes to the big purple worm.
Really intelligent way to fight that team fight for PSG. They were so calculated there, laying the damage in first, not overly rushing the team fight, chunking out the front line, making sure that they then would have to back up so that his Jinx cannot hit. Aji had a really good Rumble ultimate across Bwipo and on Masu, forcing Masu's positioning backwards, reducing the threat from FlyQuest in the team fight, and softening up the front line there. So just really, really intelligent front to back kind of there for PSG while denying their damage intake. Let's take another look at it here. Because you'll see, they go for the Cataclysm, and it's on Bwipo, and then the Rumble ultimate across both of them, so that they're kind of separated. You saw Masu barely got any damage out, while the entire front line gets chunked down to like 15-20% there, with Inspired and Bwipo both having to immediately evacuate. Really, really intelligent sectioning off of that team fight from PSG.
Because the option for Masu is, do I flash over the Equalizer into the enemy's faces and then they can try and turn on me, or do I try and play back? But Equalizer, that flash being burnt earlier from Bwipo in the top lane, made it so hard for FlyQuest to take that battle. They did get their third Drake of the game, though. 2 Hextechs and an Ocean for them. PSG with the Baron have it for the next 2 minutes. Can they get the 4K out of the Red Bull Baron power play that we saw FlyQuest manage to acquire? It's probably going to be a little bit less than that unless they manage to break open the base.
All right, Baron buff split push doing its work as they wait for Aji to push up on bottom side. Of course, that bottom side turret extremely low as well, so he just has to get a little bit in range, keep those minions buffed up. He's trying to stay fairly safe, and the rest of PSG here doing their work, poking and prodding through the jungle. Make sure you can get it. Very safe little take there from PSG.
Having the double cannon in the wave really helped him as well, because he can stand that little bit further back to keep the Baron buff on the minions. Inspired on the front line here, Busio looking for the hook, but he hooks into a wall. The Weaver's wall on the back line. Junja going in onto Masu, that tower falling low, but Junja might be the first to fall as Masu starts to open up. Dawning Shadow across him. Junja stunned up. Junja able to dash across the wall. The zap just wide. The super mega death throw kid though from Masu. He's been like a sniper this game, finding his mark. FlyQuest pulled PSG into the fight around the tower and managed to get a kill.
They put a stop to the push, and now they're going to go for the counter themselves. 40 seconds on the death timer here for Jinjia. FlyQuest trying to make the most of it.
What can they get? Equalizer available for Azure. I don't think they get anything here, Kobe. I think if this wave doesn't die before it gets to the tower, the equalizer goes down. Bwipo's going to get rocked up. He does still have the flash. There's the equalizer. Bwipo able to walk out of it. Very tanky with the Jax show. The Starax procking. And PSG force FlyQuest back. It's so hard without the Baron buff to actually push into an Azir and a Senna and the Rumble with the equalizer. So it was good pick up by FlyQuest to get the kill, but they weren't able to explode it into anything more.
Oh, this is exactly the excitement that people were hoping for.
That's a great game.
And expecting from this matchup with PSG here. You remember back to last year's MSI, and PSG got eliminated in that last chance qualifier versus Golden Guardian. So they've got to be looking for some revenge against North America and playing this one extremely close. Look at this tower dive as Jinjia went straight into the back line here to try and put the extra pressure onto Masu, but Inspired barely got his stun off in time to get the extra couple of auto time there for Masu. And Sniper, as you said, able to nail the ultimate. One to chase him down, but only ended up being that 1 kill worth of gold for them. It looks like a BF sword here follows it up for Masu, who's approaching full build here on the Jinx.
He's had a really good game on the Jinx as well. We talked about him being a possible weakness for FlyQuest. 4-0-5. I don't remember ever seeing him flash because he just hasn't had to with his positioning. And as much as it was only the single kill, it did stop the Baron push from PSG. So you have a net gold advantage that PSG could have got that they didn't end up getting.
Meanwhile, on the side of PSG, Betty at 161, I believe, stacks on that Senna, has been also playing really, really well, providing so much utility to the PSG lineup here in some of these frontline battles, really giving them a lot of the edge as well. And his Lord Dom's on top of the early lethality build here, quite nice for the Senna too. Maple does get chased off of the blue buff though, so Inspired taking that one, and of course the late game blue buff's so nice because it goes to your entire team.
1 minute before the Hextech Drake. Stealing the blue is a bonus, but getting the vision in this blue side jungle is FlyQuest's main objective. You can see control ward where the blue was, a ward where Busio is backing right now. Masu pushing out mid. Jensen's going to try and get this wave pushed in the bot lane as well. You want to get everything pressuring into the PSG side of the map before you start to fight around an objective like this. Top wave likely to be abandoned. Bwipo could go up there and TP down. Actually looks like Maple might be going up there to try and get the push out. Instead, deciding to join up with his team. So with Soul on the line for FlyQuest, PSG know they need to look for mid-prio into a fight around this dragon.
Here we go, FlyQuest with the double Anathema's chains.
Hooks onto Woody, not the target you want. Glacial Prison onto Maple, that's too big. Cooldowns used already. Cataclysm on the backline, there's Equalizer as well as Bwipo falls down to half HP. Will still have the Sterax. Dawning Shadow coming out as Betty starts to open up. Maple on the backline as well. Flash Emperor's the right possibility. Busio lands the hook, but Bwipo's already down. Junja going forward, Busio will fall as well. And PSG's team fighting from the PCS to the MSI planes has been sublime.
Super high value ultimate from Jinjia. He got the Cataclysm on Bwipo and Masu in that one. Masu running for his life now.
He might just escape. Gets into that. Oh, he's going to back there. The wave too far away and it's already pushed up. Betty looking for him. Great play for Masu. And he still hasn't burned the flash. He still hasn't burned the flash. Masu, a veritable Houdini here. But the Dragon will go over to PSG, not sold for them. Remember, that's only their third of the game.
Yeah, really, again, though, nice team fight from PSG. And you see how they play this in 2 steps, getting these big chunks first, not overextending in the first attempt. Then after they've got the big health lead, pushing forward, really making a lot of use of this Senna sustain let's take another look at how it started with Busio starting with the hook here. Then Inspired had actually used the Sejuani ultimate over on the side on Maple, which got shrugged off. And that's the Cataclysm Rumble ultimate combo we were talking about on both Whippo and Masu. Got a lot of value there. Yeah. The Cataclysm guaranteed.
Oh, FlyQuest. Just trying to pull PSG into this. The Weavers will try and separate. Woody can go in with the Abyssal Dive. Ginger on the other side of the wall. Baron already down to 2,000. And FlyQuest will sneak it under the very noses. Equalizer on the back line, not too good as the Cataclysm goes down as well. PSG trying to disengage. The Devour on Ginger will get him out. FlyQuest. They pulled off a heist. I thought 100 Thieves hadn't made it to MSI, but apparently they're here. Jazza still looking for more as Jensen steps in. The unraveled earth doesn't land with the seismic shove. FlyQuest, I think you should just disengage as if you can. Betty's going to keep stepping forward, but PSG, PSG won't go any further for the fight.
The Jinx Rockets have been pretty fun to follow this game. Another kind of close one there, but nice little slip out, and that is a really good force on the Baron here for FlyQuest. You mentioned earlier, you know, the increases to Baron damage. Those were to the abilities, you know, too. And so as long as people are still cognizant and like dodging the abilities,
it's more like a raid boss now. You actually have to dodge stuff.
I definitely like the direction, but FlyQuest here, nice call on actually rushing it down and being able to use that too to then turn onto PSG. A little bit, I got very, very nervous there as a possible over chase. But they did not overstep their bounds here. And again, this game's so incredibly close. We're going to approach 40 minutes in our very first game of MSI, Medic.
Oh my goodness. Average game time around the world about 30 to 33 minutes in most regions. We're already 7 minutes past it. Obviously, I think it's only the second competitive tournament we've seen on 14-8. This and the EMEA Masters over in Europe's second set of leagues. PSG, I mean, I was going to say they're 1,000 gold behind, but that really doesn't matter right now. The important things to note, Masu still has the flash, obviously, and is full build on this Jinx. Jensen as well has a Zhonya's Hourglass alongside Leandri's Seraphs and the Crypt Bloom. On the other side, though, Maple is at 4 items as well, and Azure has the Crypt Bloom alongside his Leandri's and Zhonya. So there's a lot of damage on either side, and it really feels like if FlyQuest are able to stop the Cataclysm going down, stop that from locking someone up, then they can really take the team fight. But if they don't do that, and if they use their engage tools a little bit lackadaisically in the early portions of a fight, it becomes a lot trickier for them as Maple on the wrong side of the wall, knocked back with that Weaver's wall. Pippo stepping forward, the wave almost cleared out. Pippo falling low as the equalizer goes down. Just to force FlyQuest away. 45 seconds still on this Baron buff, another wave coming in about 15. FlyQuest will be looking to push this in, at least raise one of these inhibitor towers. Not going to be mid, no equalizer now.
Yeah, they've got one more minion wave worth of Baron buff, and this tower's pretty low. They're trying to force a little bit of extra damage right now.
The wave is just so good for Maple and Betty, though. Dawning Shadow as well on Matsu. Might look for a little bit more here. Azure stepping forward, half the cooldown left on that equalizer. Ginger, you can see that Cataclysm tempting him, the R-key. Very bright in his mind. Dragon up in a minute 30 as well. That's the thing, like, if you keep FlyQuest around for a little bit more here, you then get much better setup on this Soul Point Dragon for everyone, or Soul Dragon, a Hextech Soul for either team.
Man, and these Betty ultimates over the top, this Senna is providing so much.
It's 180 stacks. It's just so much work in these fights.
It was such a big pickup for the team. Can't say it enough here, as it's going to come down to a very nice Dragon buff fight here.
I don't know if it ends. I don't know if it ends, unless, like, I can see one person dying, the other team getting the Drake.
And then we go Baron,
and then we go Elder.
Yeah, okay.
Give me 50 minutes of it, pump it into my blood.
I'm down for the ride. I'm down for the roller coaster.
Cannon Minion took the tower.
The hero Cannon Minion. Huge. Honestly, too, the inhibitor turrets don't give you a lot of gold, so...
It's more about opening up a way into the base, right?
It's always nice to get one of those, even if it is taken off by a minion. But set up for the Dragon Soul.
No vision at all for PSG. Jensen was spotted in bot lane, pushing out that wave. He's now moved up to join the rest of FlyQuest. It's a rinse and repeat of the previous team fight. Flashes up across the board. No one summonerless as Ginger steps forward with Azure. PSG stepping into that fog of war. The Dragon still 10 seconds away from spawning, though. Whippo takes a little bit of damage. Woody stepping in. Busio locked up with the Cataclysm. He has to flash away. The Glacial Prism on Ginger. No Devour used as of yet, as the Dragon now spawning. But Ginger, the jungler for PSG, chunked out quite a lot. Jensen looking for the flank. There's the Weaver's wall. Which side will PSG end up on? The wrong side for them. Ginger puts The flag down, Busio falls low, Ginger dashes in, the Weaver's Wall falls down, Inspired still looking for the play, it might just be a 50-50 between the two, Busio falls first, the Dragon falling low, Inspired lands a smite, but can FlyQuest get out? The answer seems to be no. TP into the mid lane by Woody, they're trying to look for the win here, 3 members of FlyQuest down, Bwipo and Inspired have to hold the line.
PSG are coming for game number 1. It's just Inspired and Bwipo against the entire PSG roster.
Can they do it?
Yes.
It's a best of 3, of course, so FlyQuest will have the chance to fight against us, but those 6 grubs are looking mighty good now. The dive in by Ginger, Sterax for Bwipo, it's not enough to keep him alive. Betty going legendary. Inspired tries to cut the wave, the minions helping a little bit for PSG. Inspired, though, getting chased out by Betty, and the Nexus towers in the eyes of the PSG. The PCS will claim the first game at MSI.
Betty. That Senna was such a monster this game for PSG. Really fun first game in the opener here. You know, we got a little taste of some lane swaps. We got a couple different ways that the team fights were going. But once PSG really focused on that kind of 2-section fight, they really were able to gain a lot of ground here. Nicely done. Oh, exciting number 1. Of course, this is a best of series here, so we get to continue. A little time to go back and review for both teams.
And I think like FlyQuest had some very good moments in that game. After the initial lane swaps, perhaps they fell a little bit behind. Busio looked Masu looked really good. His positioning team fights was really strong. Inspired and Bwipo seemed to be on the same page, but just in the team fights, PSG came out a little bit ahead. The question is, what do FlyQuest take out of that game? How do you look at it, reevaluate, and then move into game 2?
Yeah, a little bit of more planning in how you actually want to execute on some of these team fights in the stare down maybe, because PSG got a really big advantage there towards the mid and late game when they're able to really focus there. So
I mean, PSG's team fighting just in the PCS as well was incredible. We'll see if they can continue it in game 2. Don't forget to log in to lolesports.com using your right ID to win exclusive MSI 2024 drops. We're going to head over to the analyst desk to break down game 1 of MSI 2024.